Well, we could talk about Christianity and being a Southern Baptist, and
yeah, I'm not specifically Southern Baptist, but
okay,
yeah, Baptist.
Sure. So, and by Christianity, what do we mean? Just a quick definition of what you believe.
So my definition is built around Scripture.
Okay.
Okay. I believe that, in contrast to some belief systems, that we can read the Bible, and we can read the Bible as well as somebody 500 years or 2,000 years ago.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Well, let's say on a scale from 1 to 7, how confident are you that your belief in Christianity is true?
95+%.
Okay. Very close to a 7, almost.
Yes.
A 7, and just a hair shy.
Yeah. And
on a scale from 1 to 7, how important is it for you to believe in true things that are true and real?
So true things have to be, by definition, I believe that I serve a God of truth.
So truth is very important.
Truth is critically important to the entire process. Yes.
How do you know your belief is true?
Oh, you're going to ask some personal questions.
I really want to know how you know what you know. And that's really what it's all about. So
No, and I understand that. So without getting too personal, I have a background that includes science, and part of what I believe is that if there is a God who is true, that He is capable of proving it to me. And very specifically, I asked Him to do certain things for me in private, where I was in control, so that I knew that it was a fair test, and He did it for me.
So the way you know that your belief is true is that you had a conversation with God or Jesus, and you laid out a test, and if He passed this test, then
at least I would have something to stand back on when I had doubts.
Yeah, and I don't need to know the test.
Yeah.
But this helps me understand the nature of the belief.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Fred is a Muslim and he practices Islam.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say he believes that Muhammad is God. And the way he knows Muhammad is God is that he has talked to Muhammad, and he came up with a test, and Muhammad passed the test. And let's say I'm a third person, and I just want to know what's true.
Sure.
If your belief is more true, I'd like to believe that. If his belief is more true, I'd like to believe that. How could I go about finding out what's more objectively real?
For you?
Or just objectively real, true.
So I'm not sure that my test would help you because it was done in private. I don't know that would help you.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is that if he had the same test, what did I say? Fred. Fred had the same test as you, and he came to a vastly different conclusion than you did. Is that test a reliable way, do you think, to know what's true?
So if he were to come up with the same test, I would expect that he would believe in his God. And it would probably be just as hard to shake his belief as it is to shake my belief.
Right.
That's why I put it in the 95% range. Is I'm comfortable with the scientific quality of my test. It is something that I have never had a reason to believe differently based on my experiences with God.
I guess what I'm confused is, maybe to help me out, is Fred believes his beliefs at 95%. Sure. Let's say Fred believes his belief at 98%, and you believe your belief at 95%. should I, at that point, believe what Fred believes because he believes it more strongly or more confidently? You think?
I think I think that God, if you're interested in God and in that, I believe you should ask for your own. You know, I believe that God is capable of giving you the answers to your own. I don't have a problem with saying, and you should not believe because I believe.
Yeah. And Fred says the exact same thing.
So I would say, don't base your belief on either of ours.
Yeah. Well, it seems like I'm kind of at a loss because if I want to believe in what's true, what's objectively real in the world.
Yeah. So how would you determine what's real?
Well, it's a great question. When I think about what I know is objectively true, I tend to think about things that are separate from me, that don't depend on my experience to know if that thing is true. That thing is true whether I experience it or not experience it.
So if you were to look at something that was, say, physics related, okay, and my tests were fit into that category.
Yeah.
The only thing that would prove to you that there's a God would be something that broke the laws of physics, probably.
Well, that's a great question.
And if you're expecting it to, always follow the laws of physics, then it's going to be hard. It's going to have to be something to prove that there is a God who is beyond.
You're saying that your belief doesn't follow the laws of physics?
So I am saying that a God who created physics can break it when he chooses to.
If that wasn't true, how could we find that out?
So the only way that I know to find that out would be to say, ask him, and say.
Yeah. Seems like I'm in the same spot, though.
You probably are. I'm not. That's why I'm saying I can't tell you, based on my experiences, which I've experienced, that it's going to translate into you believe it.
If you happen to be incorrect about your belief, I'm not saying you are, but if you were, would you want to know it?
If I was incorrect about my beliefs, I would probably want to know it. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And I imagine Fred would too.
Yeah.
And if Fred said that, he would really want to know it if his belief isn't true. I'm trying to think of how we could show him, how we could help him find that out.
It is hard to prove the negative of something.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.